Don't forget $5 Wednesdays at the Paramount Theater today. Skip the line. Bring $5. Get out to the movie theater today. FGBtheaters.com for all of the listings of what's playing. But yeah, it's back. $5 Wednesdays at the Paramount right here in the Granite City. Good morning and welcome to the Aired Out Podcast. We're on the web at airedoutvt.com. We're streamed everywhere you get your podcasts. Every platform that you can imagine. Yes, I'm wearing my optical expressions glasses this morning. 223-2090 to set up an exam today, and you really ought to. I would be completely lost without my glasses. And I got them on this morning. Hey, Deb Phillips with us from the world. Deb, good morning. Are you with us, Deb? Oh, I think we lost her. Let's see if we can. Oh, there you are. Hi, Deb. How are you?
I can hear you. Okay.
How are things
Good.
going over at the World? I know that Wednesdays are game time for you guys. It is the busiest, maybe the busiest day of the week. Maybe it's Tuesday. I don't know.
No, Wednesday definitely is. The truck just got here, and they're loading up, getting ready to deliver the papers.
All right. We love the world. We love and appreciate you and Gary and the rest of the team. Your partnership now with the Times-Argus, things have really changed. It has been a wild, 51st year?
Oh, 53rd.
53 years. Wow. Incredible. Hey, Deb, what can we expect in the paper today?
Well, we invite you to celebrate Labor Day weekend in Northfield. They're going to have the parade and a lot going on this year. Also, there's the Mad River Craft Fair in Waitsfield this weekend. And we have the bridal directory in the pet care corner.
I saw a little bit of, I don't know, there was something about wedding season that I thought I saw in the world, but I know it is like, man, as soon as the leaves change in Vermont, that is high tide for the wedding industry, is it not?
Oh, definitely high tide. Yeah, big time.
Well, we always look forward to it. I'm going to be grabbing my copy here shortly and thumbing through it, and we love and appreciate you both. You and Gary and the rest of everyone that makes the world happen every single week. Thank you so much, Deb.
Thank you, JD.
We'll talk to you soon. We're looking at partly cloudy skies this afternoon, around 66 or so for the daytime high. Clear tonight, 45. Sitting on the patio last night, a little chilly. Like it, but chilly. Sunshine and 75 tomorrow. Tomorrow night at Thunder Road, partly cloudy and about 55. Rain coming into the picture on Friday. Do I need to say much needed rain? I don't, because you already know that's the case. We need it. Yes, 66 for the high on Friday and Saturday. The sun comes back with 65 for the high. So, yeah. Man, we have a lot to talk about this morning. This guy, this handsome devil that is sitting right next to me, Peter Hawks, man, I got to tell you, first of all, welcome to the studios. Welcome to Fly on the Wall Productions. Welcome to the Aired Out Podcast. Welcome to my microphone. I could talk with you all day.
Well, thank you, JD. It's a pleasure to be here.
From the Flyin Foundation, I think it was, I'm trying to remember here, because I'm getting old. 54 now, pal. So things are slipping in the gears a little bit. But I think it was maybe Chad Hollister that first told me about the Flyin Hawks Foundation years ago. But of course, Tom Murphy from Sweethearts and Heroes starts talking about you, and I was like, whoa, I gotta get Mr. Hawks on the air.
Yeah, that's really quite a story, JD. We have, as part of our fundraising medium, a thing we call community partners. And one of our community partners is the Vermont Agency, which is a division of Vermont National Life, and they run a golf tournament. And we participate in that every year, and we've been very fortunate. In fact, this year, for the very first time, we won the tournament. Well, one of their divisions is the Innovative Wellness Division. and we gave a presentation of one of our 3 core programs. We have 3 programs that really is what the Flyin Foundation is all about. We give adventure scholarships. An adventure scholarship is kind of a special deal with us because we're not looking for Olympic athletes. We're looking for people who are passionate and authentic in terms of pursuing their passion, don't have the means to do it, but we want to know who it is we're giving a scholarship to. So we require and ask that as part of the scholarship application process, that these people share with us their core values so we know who it is who is writing the application, and a verification of authenticity. And the essays we get are just off the chart. Over the years, we've given a little over 200 scholarships, and we're not looking for Olympic athletes. We're just looking for people who need a hand up, and we want to facilitate the journey. So it's a real pleasure to make these awards. In fact, this year's banner year, we've probably given 25 or 26 awards already this year alone, and there's more to come. So that's an exciting thing. But getting back to Tom Murphy, we gave a presentation on relative to one of our other programs, which is our primary program now, which is the Core Values Challenge. The Core Values Challenge is pure and simple. Tell us who you are and what makes you tick, and create a foundation for your future behavior and attitude. Attitude is a critical ingredient of everything you say, think, and do, and there's a lot of noise out there, a ton of noise that'll get you off track if you let it. And if you live by the expectations of others, you're apt to go off track and not live the life that's really available to you, because all you've got is time. That's your only ingredient in life. What you do with it is your business. So it's best, we think, for people to know who they are and define themselves. And that's what the Core Values Challenge elicits, and it can happen it starts a journey in basically 20 or 30 minutes. So it's really quick. And we gave a presentation at the Vermont Innovative Wellness office. And after the presentation, the lady who runs it, Maria Hubscher, said, there's somebody I want you to meet up in St. Albans, a guy named Tom Murphy. Have you ever heard of him? No, I haven't. Well, he runs an outfit called Sweethearts and Heroes. I'm going to send you a letter of introduction over to Tom, and you guys hook up. So she did that. I called subsequently. Tom said he would see me at noon on Memorial Day, and he had an hour. And I came to realize when I met him that he really is a UFC fighter type guy, a very imposing physical character. But I was blown away by the hour that we spent together.
Oh, yeah.
I was blown away because when we sat down, the first question he asked me was, tell me about your mom and dad. Well, I'm there to talk about the foundation and see if we can get a relationship going. And he starts out with, tell me about your mom and dad. And, well, JD, you know Tom. You know how he looks at you.
I do.
It's not intimidating.
No.
He's a big guy. It's not intimidating.
He looks at you through the back of your
but
head.
But he's like a freaking sponge.
Yeah, I know.
He absorbs every nuance of what you're saying.
Yeah, doesn't miss anything.
And I had an hour to talk to him. And 40 minutes later, he's still asking me about my life. And I'm getting nervous. I said, Tom, I'd like to talk about the foundation here. And he said, I know I got a 1 o'clock meeting. I'm going to push it off a half hour, so don't worry about it. So bottom line, at the end of the conversation, he said, that was authentic, that was powerful, that was meaningful. That's something we want to work with. I got 2 requests for you, he said. He said, I want you to get me into South Burlington, which we subsequently did, the high school. And I want to come down and spend 4 hours with our video team and absorb your materials and integrate them into our leadership program. And so that's literally why we're here today. Tom
Yeah.
likes what we do. We like what he does. I mean, his mission is awesome.
Yeah.
Hopelessness is the equivalent of the COVID pandemic. It is a huge, unspoken issue that impacts the majority of young people today. And a corrective medicine, one of the corrective medicines, is to address it head on. And Tom believes, as we do, that people who know who they are and have defined themselves are going to have a better shot at shutting out the noise and the distraction and all the things that can basically kick kids around because they don't have a sense of direction. And it gives them a power of choice.
You're 87 years old, sharper than a tack, by the way. But there's a lot more noise and distraction going on in the current world than there was, I'm guessing, when you were 10, 11.
I mention that frequently. I said we grew up in the 40s and 50s in La La Land. We had it so easy. It is so complicated to be a kid today.
So what you're saying is there was no online bullying back in the 40s?
Oh, of course there was bullying. There was all that stuff.
But not online.
But nothing, not online. Not online. It was mano a mano.
Wasn't it great living without a cell phone? You obviously you remember those days.
Oh my God! There are days when I want to go back, back to that, to the simplicity of life. But really, it's kids today have a really complex task because not all kids have great parents, and if the parents assert their authority in counterproductive ways, the kids grow up within those constraints.
Sure. And
we want to break the kids loose so they have their own voice. And once they have their own voice, and we've seen this happen because our old program, which is, I told you we have 3 programs, the Core Values Program, the Adventure Scholarship Program, and our original evaluation of core values was a program we called Decisions. That's a deep dive, and it works in schools. And we've installed it in roughly 12 or 13 schools around the state. It's part of the personal learning plan, which is required curriculum, but required doesn't mean it gets done. So of the 72 schools scattered around the state, we're in about 13 or 14 that we know of, and probably another 10 or so that we don't know of, but we got a long ways to go in terms of giving kids the opportunity to take charge of their future and their decision making and the time that they have to navigate through life. You're either in control or you're a cork on the ocean, and a lot of kids are just getting distracted.
Wow.
And we prevent that, and it works.
So well said. I'm on FlyinRyanHawks.org on your page right now, where it says Ryan Hawks was a dynamic human being with a passion and love for the mountains and skiing. He loved a fulfilling life, which was dominated by fun, adventure, and determination. Although he lived only 25 short years, he lived every minute of his life. Who is Ryan Hawks? Let's start there this morning, because and if you're just tuning in, Peter Hawks is with me. He's my very special guest this morning, the executive director of the Ryan Hawks or the Flyin Ryan Hawks Foundation. But who is Ryan Hawks? We have to start there, man.
Absolutely. The Flyin Ryan Foundation was founded in 2011 upon the death of Ryan, who was competing in a free ride world tour. He was an excellent skier and highly respected in the free ride community. because he was the kind of person that every single skier and person around him wanted to be around. Not because he did anything special, but because he just exuded something that was somehow in the air where people were just attracted to him, like moths to a light bulb, literally. And he died in 2011, not because he did anything wrong. He just executed a 40-foot backflip, stomped it, as they say, landed it perfectly, but it was a submerged rock under the snow in an approved landing area that took him out. And I know the way he thinks. We were very close. He would have said, "Hey, Dad, I knew the risks. It is what it is." He wasn't the kind of kid who lived in the rearview mirror. He was just full of energy, and he was in the present and looking forward. And he didn't have time for negativity things. And one of his values was play like I'm 13. He had enough confidence that, because Ryan had the capacity to be absolutely the most stupid, inane guy in the room. And if he saw something that really looked like fun and it was a little bizarre, didn't bother him at all.
And a little dangerous,
he'd
risky.
just do it because he wasn't looking over his shoulder to see what people would think. That didn't matter. If it wasn't mean-spirited and it looked like fun, that's all he needed to hit the go button and have at it.
Not to sound cliche, but it seems like, frankly, you've earned every gray hair on the head.
Oh, yeah. Now, Ryan was not only a gifted skier, he was a very good mountain biker. And he brought me into mountain biking way back when I was 58. So that's when I started.
58? You're starting to mountain bike, Peter?
Yeah, I basically got the ball rolling. I'd ridden on road bikes a lot, but mountain biking, that's a whole different ballgame. And mountain biking continues to be a passion today. I still ride in a competent fashion at 87, and I am grateful beyond belief for that privilege. I have a lot of good friends, good riders, and we in Vermont have a network of trails that is second to none. I've ridden all around the country.
Kingdom Trails?
Northeast Kingdom, Waterbury, Catamount, all kinds of trails in Stowe. And Little River, Rochester. Rochester has some of the very finest trails in the state. Killington is coming full bore.
Oh, yeah.
I
didn't know
Woodstock. Trails are everywhere.
I didn't know about Woodstock, and I didn't know about, what was the other one that you said?
Scutney, Little River, Rochester.
Rochester. I didn't know about Rochester. I know Little River's got a network in there.
There's a trail builder named Tom Lepesker who just basically lays down yellow brick roads through the woods. Beautifully constructed, machine constructed, very sustainable, water sensitive.
Now, hang on a second now. So you're mountain biking at 87. When you go down.
I fall, but I wear protective gear on my knees, protective gear on my elbows, backpack, in case I land on my back, which I have. I've been tossed off a bridge, dropped 10 feet, landed on my back, and gotten up unscathed. I've bounced off trees and fallen in a lot of ways that are hard to believe, and there must be an upper hand that's taking me in my path through life, because I do not deserve to be fully intact.
No.
In terms of some of the risks that I have confronted. Among those risks, I would tell you, and this is getting off the track because we're here to talk about the foundation of Ryan.
Of course.
But I did, in 2001 and 2002, win the National Masters Downhill Championship with a series of races around the country. I picked up the championship in Durango, Colorado, and went to the World Championships in Canada, in Bromont, and won that for 2 years. And it was a miracle. I had 2 miracle rides, and they came at the right time, and that's when I packed it in and said, I've had a good run, I'm out of here.
I might ask you some questions that are a little personal. I don't script out all of my questions.
I got
ahead of
nothing
time.
to hide.
I know you have nothing to hide, but if I do ask you something that you would rather not answer, then tell me so. Have you written your obituary?
No, I haven't written my obituary, but I have a neighbor who keeps bugging me to write a book.
Yeah.
And I say, I'd rather not. I'd rather just live, not write about it.
All right. That was another question I had.
My life is what it is. And yeah, there are stories in there that are probably amusing and compelling and perhaps destructive. But I just don't have the time, energy, or interest to do anything other than just live my life.
Wow. I said this morning,
close that chapter pretty quick.
Yeah, right, exactly. I said this morning that this morning's episode is going to have an impact on you, no matter who you are, where you're listening from, or what you do. And frankly, and let's be honest, a lot of this just really has nothing to do with extreme skiing. And everything to do with attitude and having a core value as a human being, and just being the best person you can be on this planet while you have the time to be here, which is a great privilege.
Gratitude is one of my strongest affiliations. I am absolutely grateful every day. And consciously grateful. You can have gratitude that's kind of passive, or you can have active gratitude. And my gratitude is I absolutely relish the privileges of living that I enjoy, and the good fortune that I've had to get this far intact.
Whose idea was it to create the Flyin Ryan Hawks Foundation? And carry forth his legacy in a way that would bring the message of his core value to others?
In the very beginning, when he died, immediately, Mountain Sports International, which owned the Free Ride World Tour at that time, put together a memorial fund. And Technical Blizzard came up with some skis and boots and said people who contribute to the fund will get a chance to win some stuff. And we saw that happening. But I felt that Ryan put so much on the table, and his life was cut short at 25, that he deserved to be, the impact of his life really deserved to be extended in a meaningful way. And then we found on his computer, much to our surprise, his 13 core values. And he said, there's a set of rails we're running on. That's how we can make a difference. And so we started sharing that for a couple of years, and people were really appreciative of what we shared with them. And then we realized we're only halfway around the track. To really make the world a better place, can we use Ryan as an example and get people to write their own core values so that they also could lead a more deliberative way of engaging life?
With intention.
And so, with intention. And so that's when we started the Decisions program. And we worked with South Burlington High School and John Painter, who was head of the math department, and Ryan's math teacher, one of his favorite teachers. And we got that thing going, and it's a 4-step program where in the fall the kids, as sophomores, in what they call the sophomore program of exploration, they would figure out their core values in the fall. They would turn their core values into pictures in the wintertime. And then in the spring, they would have what they called sophomore exhibition, where each kid who'd written his core values invited the people who were important in his life, always in control. With us, we're not in control. We don't define core values. We have the kids define core values for themselves, their core values. We're not trying to feed them a copy of Ryan's core values. We want them to basically look to their heart, to their gut, and build core values from the inside out. That way it's authentic, it's 24/7. You can't get away from it because the source is yours, and you identify with it. But these kids in the exhibition then get up and tell the people they invited. It might be teachers, friends, teammates, parents, relatives, people that they invited. So they control the room, and they say, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to engage in life. And I've seen probably 35 or 40 of these presentations. I've seen parents in tears. I've seen kids blossom who really have a hard time stringing two words together, who once they get going on defining themselves, really come alive with authority and authenticity. So Pat Burke, the principal at South Burlington High School, said, never in his years of administration has he seen a program that has had a greater impact on the culture and the climate of the school. He said, absolutely, Class A. But that doesn't mean it's perfectly implemented. In order to do it at South Burlington High School, and this is typical, a third of the teachers, it takes 33 because it's a 300-kid class, sophomores. It takes roughly 30 facilitators to put this program in place and run it through the course of the year. A third of the teachers really embrace it, and the kids get the full benefit of what it can be. A third of them just kind of go through the motions, and a third of them it's at the back of the bus. So basically our real penetration is about 35% in terms of full impact. And beyond that, it's a step in the right direction, but not the real deal. That's the real world. And we realized after 7 or 8 years of swimming upstream like salmon, trying to get into the Vermont school system one by one, we said, we gotta take this battleship and turn it into a speedboat. And that's where the Core Values Challenge came about. And now we've got something that basically we can implement in a half hour from start to finish. Here's what core values are, and then there's a time for writing, 5 or 10 minutes, and then there's a time for sharing the core values that you wrote. But basically we get the ball rolling, in no time at all, and accomplish essentially the same goal, shallow dive.
Flyin, Ryan, HawksFoundation.org. Peter Hawks with me, my guest this morning here on Aired Out. Do you, I want to ask you something here. I don't know much about you personally, although I'm getting to know you here. I don't know if you're a spiritual guy. I don't know if you're a religious guy. But do you, does it come into your mind often? I wonder if Ryan is watching all of this, listening to all of this, observing all of the impact that his legacy is having on others.
Absolutely. One of my core values is,
and maybe even orchestrating everything.
And I got this core value at age 78. Because before that, the platform I ran on was Rotary. I've been a Rotarian for many, many years, and Rotary runs on what they call the 4-way test that not all Rotarians abide by, but everything you say, think, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And is it beneficial to all concerned? And I was president of the Burlington Rotary Club in 1990, and I would pull somebody out of the crowd. We had about 165 members, and I'd say, tell me about the 4-way test. What's the 4-way test? They hated me. I was lucky I wasn't impeached. But by the end of the year, everybody in that club knew the 4-way test. They were Rotarians because they had bought into that. and I gave him a chance to exercise it. But nevertheless, and then I basically supplemented that with my own core values when Ryan died, along with the rest of our board of directors, and that's been the thread that I run on, and it's really a privilege. It's and I'm very happy to basically and to answer your question, one of my core values is what would Ryan do? A very, very powerful. Ryan is a current event in my life. Every day. Every time the sun goes down, I say good night, Ryan. And one of the most special treats I've ever been involved in life was a week after Ryan died. There was another free ride tour event in Snowbird in Utah. And they asked me to come out because I'd done an eulogy here in Burlington that was well received. And the people running the Free Ride World Tour wanted me to do the same thing out in Snowbird. Ryan's girlfriend at the time her father was the director of lift operations at Snowbird. And it turned out it was kind of a snarky day, and the wind was howling, and they don't run the tramway when the wind's more than 25 miles an hour. It was about 40 that day. It was really up there. And the eulogy was going to be read at the top of Lone Peak, at a mountaintop, which was appropriate for Ryan. And this Angel Collinson was Ryan's girlfriend. Her dad said, "We're going to get these people up there." And they hauled 250 people up to the top of Lone Peak, and there were low-hanging clouds, and it was just a sliver of light way off, 100-odd miles out west. And the wind was howling, and there were prayer flags all over the place. There was a good sound system. I was nervous as hell because I had 3 pages of this eulogy, and the wind's blowing, and I'm like, oh, if I lose this, I'm in deep, deep trouble here. And I got in there about 5 or 10 minutes, and the sun just came out from this little sliver of sky, and it came across the bottom of the clouds, and it came right up onto Lone Peak. And it didn't last more than 40 seconds, and the sun just went over the horizon. No question, that was Ryan. I just stopped immediately when I saw that. I said, "Here comes Ryan." And we all in silence watched Ryan's appearance and disappearance. The brilliance of his life and the fact that it's history. Never forget it. Priceless memory. Some memories you just can't shake. They're very, very special. That was one of them.
If you could sit and have a beer with Ryan today, with Ryan being 25 years old, and ask him, "Ryan, I'm your dad. What do you think my number one core value is right now?" What do you think he'd say?
I've never contemplated that question, but bottom line is I was his mentor on an equal basis because he was my mentor. He was equally as much my mentor as I was his. And he would say, Mike, my commitment to his welfare was really important to him. One of the ways I committed to his welfare, here he's on a mountain bike where there's high risk, high danger. He's on a ski. In the ski world, there was high risk, high danger as well. And I said to Ryan at one point, I want to talk to you about risk. And most parents say, be careful. And they put negative and concerns in place. And I said, Ryan, when it comes to risk, here's what I got to say. God gave you a wonderful brain. I expect you to use it. And no matter what happens in life, I'm there for you. End of story. That was my entire and one and only discussion I had about risk. Now, there were times when I was holding my breath, but I had confidence in him. And so risk was our companion. And we know you either get the long straw or the short straw in life. I mean, I absolutely do not deserve to be here. I started out at age 7. I had polio, and so I wasn't able to navigate for a while. And so when I could navigate again, being mobile was far more important to me than it probably is to most folks. And I've been dedicated to exercising my capacity as what I call a career mediocre athlete all my life. And a lot of people think I'm reasonably gifted at some of the stuff I do, but I know damn well I'm nothing more than a mediocre athlete who loves doing what I'm doing and happy to do it the best I can and not worried about the highest levels of accomplishment. Just exerting what I can do and loving it. And the key thing is, love what you're doing or it's not authentic.
Tell us about your motocross days, because we're talking about risk right now. You're basically have been addicted to.
Oh, absolutely.
To motocross.
I had a very real need for speed.
You
as
put
a young kid and maybe as an older kid too.
You put a dirt bike into a tree and ended up with a new hip. What was that all about?
Well, it was a kind of a surprise, but and the problem with the hip was the procedure was fine, but I was at my 50th reunion at Dartmouth on the green, formal dinner, president of the college was speaking, and my hip dislocated when I was doing nothing but sitting in a chair. That was far and away the most terrifying thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
And that's the only thing that really raised hell with me subsequently, because after that dislocation, the hip was unstable, and it was a candidate for dislocation, really. And walking was difficult. Since that day, which was 12, 15 years ago now, I haven't been able to walk worth a damn. And it hurts. Every step, every walking step I take hurts. Not fatal, but it's uncomfortable. Let's say uncomfortable. Don't want to get off on that in a big way. But the bottom line is that I've learned how to circumvent the reality of that instability. And mountain biking, I'm stabilized by the bike. Skiing, I endure the discomfort, no problem. I have a strong turn to the right, weak turn to the left, but works both ways.
So you're still you're skiing.
And tennis.
You ski?
The doctor said, no way are you going to do those things. And I said, sorry, you're talking to the wrong guy. I'm doing those things. If I'm going to go until there's we used to say in motocross racing, keep the wick on, go deep into the curve, keep that guy going, and get the whole shot. And I'm going to go deep into the curve of life. I've got no intentions of giving up mountain biking. I'm only 87. I got a ways to go, and I'm competent, and so I'm loving it.
My
So
God.
that's joy.
Yeah, you're just you're at some point going to go out with a bang. I mean, it's a guarantee.
Well, yeah. Actually, that's something in terms of risk management. I've contemplated life without sports, and I'm prepared to adjust if the situation calls for it, but not until it calls for it. So I'm going to go till there's no more milk in the bottle. When the milk's gone, then watch me do a jigsaw puzzle and love it.
And still love it.
And it goes without saying, family and friends, priceless. Priceless. It's not the things in life that basically you take with you as you age. It's the relationships. The relationships are incredibly important, and that things come and things go, and it's not what the focus should be. I was in financial services by way of background, among a number of things that I've done. But I learned about money from Ryan. I learned about how to properly value where money fits into life. The fact that it's a necessity, but not to be compelled by it. That said, I can tell you a story that I love, a Ryan story. When he was at UVM, it took him 7 years to graduate because whenever there was snow on the ground, he was not to be found in class. But he had the dean of the engineering school and his professors wrapped around his little finger, and he managed to get to the finish line and graduate with pretty good grades. But he was on the campus bus one day, and with a friend, and he saw this girl at the back of the bus who had a hat, and he said to his friend, "I gotta have a hat like that. That's look at that hat." It was kind of a thick wool knit hat that she'd knit for herself. So he basically worked his way to the back of the bus, and he said, "Hey, I really love that hat. Could you make me a hat like that?" She said, "Yeah, I could do that." And his friend said, "Hey, Ryan, we got to get off here. This is our stop." And Ryan just pulled out $20, gave her $20, and jumped off the bus. And his friend, a very good friend, close friend, said, "Ryan, are you out of your skull? You don't even know her name. She doesn't know your name. What was that all about?" Ryan said, "Don't worry about it." Well, 4 or 5 weeks went by. She made the hat. She carried it around in her purse for 4 or 5 weeks. Then it happened to chance across Ryan and said, "Oh, I have that hat for you." So, it worked out. It was a transaction that was driven by spirit, not risk management. But that was Ryan. If Ryan loaned you money, he didn't have a little black book. If you paid him back, that was great. If you didn't, he didn't ruminate about it. He didn't have a ledger. He did things for the right reasons, and that's one of the reasons he was just so broadly respected, because he was just so real, so easy to engage, so level, so non-mean spirited, and very, very dedicated to the welfare of the planet. He felt there are serious flaws in the way humans are going about things.
I know you know the Egan brothers. Did Ryan get a chance to meet them, ski with them? Did he get involved with anything with Warren Miller?
No, no. He did do some skiing for Ski the East. They had an outfit called the Meatheads that turned out a batch of really, really fun ski films. And he was one of the principal skiers for Ski the East, along with Jamie Stahl, who died in Stowe probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, back in Hellsbrook. Made one turn too many and went over the cliff on a hotter day.
Can barely hike Hellbrook.
Oh,
let
Hellsbrook,
alone,
if you climb up in the summertime, you say, do we ski down this thing?
No.
Yeah, but in the wintertime, the snow all collects in there.
Yeah, it does. Wow. So, thank you for coming on this morning. But the biggest takeaway from all of this, what you're bringing to schools, what you're bringing to the eyes, but most importantly, the ears of so much of our youth in our schools, just as Sweethearts and Heroes does,
Yes.
is to begin as young as you can, putting a magnifying glass on what really matters to you, what your core value is.
Yeah.
Some of us, like you alluded to earlier this morning, respectfully are not necessarily learning that from our parents. Some of us are not.
And we're
Some
not
of us
getting
are.
it. We're not getting it in schools either. I mean,
Right.
this is not given the attention, and this is Tom and his crew have done an incredible job reaching 2 million kids, over 2 million kids with their programs. And now our little piece is going to be included in their program. So our footprint through Sweethearts and Heroes could extend dramatically. So I am very, very excited about that and thrilled to have this developing relationship with Sweethearts and Heroes, and suspect that we'll be working closely together for some time. I'm looking forward to it. It's a journey. We're just starting out. We're at base camp now.
When did you meet Tom? When did you get started?
Got started Memorial Day this year.
A couple of months ago.
Couple of months ago. This is brand new.
What a
Then
marriage.
he came down the following month, with his videography production crew.
Yeah. He knows.
To pick up our stuff, and now they're incorporating it into their leadership program.
Brilliant.
And so I'm just happier than a pig out in the pen there.
Man, both of you just powerhouse here in the state of Vermont. I mean, the Flyin Ryan Hawks Foundation and Sweethearts and Heroes. That's it.
Yeah,
This
I
little
think,
tiny
I think
Green
we are
Mountain state.
too unusually purposeful organizations that really are synergistic, and I think we can only make each other better at what we do.
How does one take the core value challenge? What's the easiest way to do with it, and how is Jersey Mike's involved with this now?
We have 22, 23 community partners. Jersey Mike's is one of our community partners. When you walk into their two stores, one in Burlington, one in South Burlington, the first thing you see is our logo on the door. That's the only non-Jersey Mike's representation of something. But
Well, that's
it's
in itself
basically
alone.
it's a suggestion that there's value to go with the logo. Then when you go inside, we have a big poster on the wall, 24 by 36 inches, that shows Ryan sky high flying through the air, and his core values are written in the sky out in front of him. And at the bottom of the poster, there's a little card that says, take this card, do your own core values, like you've seen from Ryan. And when you submit them to us, we'll send you a coupon for a free sub. And so they're putting the word out. They've got their employees doing their core values. The owner has promised to do his core values for about 3 months now, and I'm putting the wood to him to get it done. So and he's accepted that without throwing me out. And so so it basically our website gives you everything you need.
How long does it take to do this?
Everything you need. You just go to the FlyinRyanFoundation.org and go to Core Values Challenge, and it's all right there. And you can give it a cursory attention, or you can give it really deep, involved attention. Wow. It's all individual. We leave it up to the individual. And we'll coach whenever asked. So we make ourselves available for anybody who wants to start that journey and do it in an authentic way, meaningful way, deliberative way. Wow. We're there to help. And we want to make the world a better place. I like to say the power of one. If we talk to 100 people and one person decides to do the core values, one person, we made the world a better place. One person, one day, one event, one core value, one decision at a time.
That's exactly how.
Basically our reason for existence.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. And now with over 200 adventure scholarships,
that's incredible.
We've got these little acolytes and disciples who are out there who kind of know our story, and they provide us with additional candidates for adventure scholarships because they don't keep it under their hat.
Yeah.
The fact that Flyin Ryan was a meaningful event in their life. In fact, I just wrote 4 checks last night for 4 new adventure scholarships. One was a girl from British Columbia who was just getting into free ride and qualified to go out to the North American Junior Championships.
Yeah. I was reading about her last night.
And when she was out there, she said, I'd kind of heard about the Flyin Ryan, but I didn't know what it was. But out at these championships, they gave a Flyin Ryan Core Values Award to someone for exemplary acts of character. And I was blown away by that, so I came back and looked at the website and really got pretty excited about what you guys do and found out that maybe you could help me.
Was this Vanessa McFarlane?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. You know more than I do.
I'm showing it right now on the page.
And so, the impact that our program has on kids, once we penetrate that outer shell, is really pretty good.
She says, this was my first time competing in South America and my second international competition. Took 4th in Chile. Unreal.
Yeah.
And that's just one of countless adventure scholarships that you've given out.
Yeah, it's the number's going to go up, and it's 25 now, and the year's not over. We'll probably wind up giving 30 or so this year, and I suspect next year it'll be more than that. But each one of those is an event. Each one of those is the start of a relationship.
Sure.
And just last night, I decided to install a new program, a new activity, which is I'm going to ask my operations manager to compile a list of the birthday of each of our adventure scholars, and they're going to get a personal phone call from me on their birthday, saying, "How you doing? You hooked up with us back in 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Where's your plan taking you? Each of our scholars has a place in our website.
Yeah.
And where
I see that.
We post their core values. We post any blogs that they send us, and so and we want to tighten that relationship and create a sense of identity that's not just one and done.
Right.
We want the Adventure Scholarship commitment to basically be a lifetime deal.
It is absolutely amazing to me. I mean, and I can't remember exactly who told me about you, but it was a while ago. It was before Tom, and I am just so honored and blessed to have met you off the air, but even more blessed to have you on the air with me this morning. I mean, it is just incredible the impact that you're having. We see vehicles driving around with your sticker on them. We see what you're doing with Jersey Mike's. We see what you're doing in our schools. We see what you're doing with Sweethearts and Heroes. And it is absolutely critical. What's going to happen to the Flyin Ryan Hawks Foundation when Peter joins Ryan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Very real. I'm getting older. I have to concede it, not in my head, but my body is definitely telling me I'm getting older, and my head's telling me that too, because I don't have as many marbles as I used to have. Things come harder for me now in terms of mental acuity, and they should, the way I've knocked my head around through the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that having been said, the foundation is a business, and it has to be run like a business. And I've been responsible about attending to the business side of the foundation as well as the mission. My passion is in the mission. Mm-hmm. My passion is not in running a business.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I want to be doing.
Sure.
But I do it because it's there to be done, and I do it in a way that gets it done with deliberation. And we've always run in the black, and we are accumulating resources to handle the transition and endow the Adventure Scholar Program. Mm-hmm. I have two very gifted daughters, Alicia, who's active in the foundation.
Really? I didn't know this.
Yeah. Alicia runs sports marketing for UVM, athletic marketing, knows the Burlington, Chittenden County community backwards, forwards, and sideways. It's really doing well up there. And she runs our golf tournament, the Vermont Charities Golf Tournament. She does that. She does our own tournament in September, the Flyin Ryan Golf Tournament. And collectively, we're really adding some resources. We run on just under $100,000 a year, typically. That seems to be about where we're plateaued.
And you're visiting how many schools?
And we're in roughly a dozen schools formally, and some more informally that we don't know about. But penetration is mercurial. It depends on what facilitator you get, because classes get broken down into groups of 8 or 10, and it's just the real world. I grew up in a very, very modest situation down in Brattleboro. A divorced mother, 1946, and we lived in a 3-story walk-up. She made life work on $25 a week. She made life work for us. I always had a roof over my head. We always had food. Not much else. And and my dad was just kind of floating around out in the world, and he got wanderlust after the war. So I basically grew up without, and my mom was kind of a bookworm. She was a dutiful mom, but not a warm, cuddly, fuzzy, help you with your homework kind of mom.
Oh.
So I grew up with a very strong sense of independence from age 7 when I had polio on. And I would have given my right arm, looking back from my perspective now, to have had the core values challenge put in front of me, or the mentoring. I didn't know or think I needed a mentor. I figured whatever was to be was up to me, and I could have used a lot of help, and I could have made probably some decisions differently if I'd had, the right foundation of support that I didn't know I needed at the time. So that gives me a sense of purpose in terms of giving kids a perspective to, grab life by the horns and get their hand on the tiller, be the boss. But getting back to the question, my daughter Alicia is very capable of handling the foundation if something happens to me. My daughter Samantha, older daughter, she's 52 now. She's the vice president director at Facebook. And Samantha's like a cat. You throw up her in the air, she's going to land on her feet. And she's got a position of high responsibility at Facebook, and she's immense capacity. But she's got a very, very full life with her Facebook life and her family, and she does a great job with her family. And she's on the board of directors. But I don't burden her with foundation stuff because she just doesn't have the bandwidth currently to handle it. But she is perhaps considering retiring in the not too distant future. So if something were to happen to me between Samantha and Alicia, the foundation would be in better hands than it is now.
Do they
get more competent hands than it is now?
Yeah. Do your daughters try to tap your brakes in any capacity?
No, the only person who taps my brakes is my wife. She's constantly telling me I'm doing too much. I shouldn't do this. I should do that.
Do you listen?
And she doesn't. No. My sense of responsibility to the foundation outweighs my love for my wife, and my wife is the most important thing in my life. She is the glue. Everything I learned about family, I learned from my wife. Everything. So she's been an absolute gift in my life. Jackie. If you're listening, Jackie, I asked you to listen this morning. Hope you're there. I love you.
What would you say to, closing out this morning, what would you say to Ryan right now if he was sitting next to you on the couch?
I would say, Ryan, I love you, buddy. You're absolutely a current event in my life, and not only my life, but in the lives of literally thousands of people who ask themselves before they act, what would Ryan do? That's a priceless legacy, to have that kind of currency 15 or 50 years after you've died. And so you had a meaningful life, a full life, and even though we lost your body in 2011, your spirit is absolutely current, and you are you're a current event in the lives of lots and lots of people.
Thanks for coming in here, Peter.
My pleasure.